Opinion. Today I am reviewing the Broadway revival of Once Upon a Mattress with book by J. Thompson, Marshall Barer, and Dean Fuller, music by Mary Rogers, lyrics by Marshall Baer, adapted by Amy Sherman-Palladino, directed by Lear, deBessonet, and choreographed by Lorin Latarro, running through November 30th at the Hudson Theater at 141 West 44th Street in New York City. Become a P in my pod of patrons on Patreon by following the link in the description. There you can get early access to my Yesterday's Matinee podcast, now featuring an episode on The Big Chill. You can also read my retro reviews of shows that I reviewed before I created this channel. The newest one I have posted is my review of Beetlejuice. There are additional little bonuses there as well. Check it out when you're finished watching this review. Once Upon a Mattress is an adorable little musical based on the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale The Princess and the Pea. The musical features Michael Urie as Prince Dauntless, who is desperately in search for a princess to marry, but his domineering mother, Queen Agravain, played by Anna Gasteyer, sabotages each attempt by a princess to provoke her worth. Due to a curse, the king, King Sextimus the Silent, played by David Patrick Kelly, can't speak to address the situation. Meanwhile, there is an edict across the land that no one can marry until Prince Dauntless marries. This causes significant issues for Lady Larkin, played by Nikki Renee Daniels, and Sir Harry, played by Will Chase, as they are unexpectedly expecting. After a search for a new princess to save the kingdom, Sir Harry returns with Princess Winifred, played by Sutton Foster, who comes from the swamplands, and is comfortable in her muck and mire, with leeches on her back and rodents in her hair. Undaunted by Prince Dauntless's immediate enamored state toward Princess Winifred's eccentric qualities, Queen Agravain tests Princess Winifred with a test of sensitivity. She has Winifred sleep on 20 mattresses with the rule that she shouldn't be able to sleep if there is a pea tuck under the bottom of the mattress, causing discomfort, and that a princess should recognize that. Of course, Winifred is unaware that there is a test being given to her. It's all delightfully silly and fun. Sutton Foster is hysterical as Winifred, giving a massively broad performance, as Winifred should be. Her performance of Shy has the exacting irony the number deserves, and makes you wonder if she's considered shy where she comes from. How bizarre are the people from her home kingdom then? Michael Urie is adorable as the naive Prince Dauntless. His performance of man-to-man talk with David Patrick Kelly, where King Sextimus attempts to give the birds and the bees talk through physical communication, is outlandish and brilliant because the king is mute. Nikki Renee Daniels and Will Chase are both sweet as the bee couple of the plot. Chase's understated, dim-witted performance of Sir Harry is a particular delight. Daniel Breaker and Brooks Ashmanskas are also wonderful as the jester and wizard, respectively. But it's Anna Gasteyer who I think people will remember long after the show ends as Queen Agravain. As comically broad Foster is as Princess Winifred, Gasteyer plays Agravain with comic minimalism. The contrast makes the two to be perfect foils for each other, and in turn elevates the humor of the other. Agravain is the queen and last word on all laws of the land. She doesn't need to be broad, and Gasteyer knows that and plays it perfectly, making even the little gross-out incest humor between her and Prince Dauntless controlled. This is great directing on part of Lear deBessonet to not make every performance so broad that it becomes untenable. There are going to be complaints about the age of everyone in the cast, especially Foster and Urie, who are both in their 40s. Foster is 49 and Urie is 44. To draw a comparison, Carol Burnett was 26 when she originated the role of Princess Winifred. I think there are several ways that you can look at this and justify it. One is that they both read younger, so we can interpret their casting as the characters being younger, maybe in their 30s at the youngest. Another way to look at it is that this is just how long Queen Agravain has had absolute control over the kingdom, prohibiting Dauntless from marrying for decades, which kind of has a different psychological effect. Anna Gasteyer isn't much older than Urie or Foster at 57, and that is what Agravain looks like. So I think the intent is that Foster and Urie are playing younger than they really are. It's a quibble, as Foster is technically old enough to play Agravain at this point, but she has such delightful physicality as Winifred that I really didn't care much. But from my understanding, Foster really wanted to do this show and called up Gilmore Girls creator Amy Sherman-Palladino to update the script with the show premiering at Encores. The role of the minstrel is cut, which is no big deal. The minstrel has been cut in previous adaptations. So Daniel Breaker, as the jester, ends up playing narrator throughout the show. Apparently at encores there were some subtle homoerotic undertones between the jester and the wizard. I guess it can still be inferred, but it isn't anything overt. It's been a very long time since I've seen recordings of Once Upon a Mattress, so I don't remember much about what I saw, but according to an interview between Sherman-Palladino and the Los Angeles Times, she says she toned down much of the misogynistic messaging in the story, changing Winifred's motivations a little to be more about wanting to experience life with Prince Dauntless than needing to find a prince to marry, which is all well and good for me. She also said she had to get permission from 3 different estates to make the changes she did in the story, and apparently they were happy with the results. I mean, they signed off on it anyway. So many Broadway scores are being reduced nowadays, so I was thrilled to see a 20-piece orchestra, this one expertly conducted by Annbritt duChateau. It helped the score feel so much lusher and more vibrant. Lorin Latarro's choreography, especially the Spanish Panic, was energetic and engaging. Being a transfer from encores, David Zinn's scenic design isn't anything grand or majestic, but it's very practical and functional, especially the bed of 20 mattresses, which Foster flips and flops and contorts herself all over. I loved Once Upon a Mattress. It had me laughing hard enough that it brought me to tears multiple times. It is also a very family-friendly show. Sitting next to me were a mom and dad with their 2 children who were well-behaved, who had to be between the ages of 4 and 8, and they all had a great time. There are some sexual jokes that are spattered throughout. You may have to explain to your child what the talk is between King Sextimus and Prince Dauntless, or why Lady Larkin is pregnant. So do use your best judgment as to what they are ready for, but it's mostly suggested dialogue and nothing explicit. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Once Upon a Mattress, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be a link to my Patreon page, so be sure to visit that as well if you want to support my channel. You can also support my work here by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the off-Broadway play, Someone Spectacular. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.